Hello, good evening. How are you? Did you think we could do it? Look, I don't know if it's perfect. Actually, I know it's not. It's really a mess, but look, we're here. We've made it online. Um, thank you for giving me some, I guess, motivation to keep going. I want to check one thing here. Let's see if this works. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know where to start. I think you can hear me. Let me just check and make sure that the settings are okay. Tonight's just going to be like, hey, at least we're on. I've got all kinds of problems with, you can see I've had to change the microphone. Audio is a little bit dicey, but look, we're here. Some of the things I'm probably not going to be able to do, I'm probably not going to be able to read too easily anymore. I don't know if I can switch screens, but we're here. And I think that's the key. Let me go over the last couple of days because it's been crazy. Friday there was a closing. I know this for a fact. Managed to put I had a listing that was a condo, managed to go under contract for the third time. Sold maybe in 10 days maybe it's 2 weeks, 14 days. It'd fallen out of contract twice before. No fault of the seller, but you say that, what difference does it make? It still doesn't go through. My sellers were great friends of mine, and they didn't give me a bunch of guff. Oh my gosh. I just noticed my camera's totally turned the wrong direction. Oh well. They were just good. They're like, look, I know it didn't work out. Let's get the next one. And ultimately they got a good deal and they can be happy now. I've been out, showing houses, and it is pretty busy. Houses are still going under contract. Crappy houses that shouldn't be going under contract for, they're going under contract for, are still going under contract. So what does that mean in St. Louis, at least? I don't feel like we're following the trends of the rest of the country. just honestly. As to why that is, I don't know. I always felt we kind of lagged. Excuse me. I always thought we kind of lagged in the economy, and I've always thought that when it gets bad elsewhere, it takes a while to get bad here, and then vice versa. When things start turning around, we're the last to get that benefit. So I am I wouldn't say confused. I mean, I know what I would offer if I were a buyer. I know what I would list it for if I were a seller. So I don't feel like I'm confused, but I just feel like the statistics aren't where they need to be for me. So let's do this. Our normal format tonight is going to be different because I don't have the tools that I need to really bring that show to you. Right now, I'm broadcasting on a laptop that is like a Chromebook, and it is sitting on top of a box so that the level can be close to reasonable for my set. I don't know. Right now, I look very, very short because the normal camera is looking kind of tilted down a little bit. But this is sort of tilted either right at the level or going up a little bit. I want to say that I'm having camera woes. I think that would be accurate, just all across the board. And I guess we'll get to that discussion soon. As far as what's on tap for tonight, we're just going to go over, like, where have I been? What is going on? talk about some interest rates and things of that nature, mortgage rates, and then we'll head out. I don't know how long my voice is going to last, which I'm a little bit irritated with myself now that I think about it, because I knew this might be an issue, but it didn't occur to me in the same way. Okay, so let's how do I say this? Let's start with we had the closing on Friday. It went well. On Thursday, I wasn't feeling great. It was a different feeling than the last time I wasn't feeling well, which was like 2 weeks ago. But I had this terrible sore throat when I woke up, just awful. And so I took whatever meds I had around the house. I thought it was the same thing, so I thought it was like sinus congestion. So I took Sudafed. I took Mucinex. I took everything. I even got to the point where I was taking like Afrin and saline nose spray and saltwater gargles, and just nothing seemed to be helping me. Day after day, I was feeling worse, and my wife started feeling the same way. She didn't get the sore throat like I was getting, but it was just, even now she's got a bunch of drainage. And so anyway, finally on Sunday, we were supposed to go. We had an event scheduled for Sunday. We had an event scheduled for Saturday. I just wasn't up to it. Now, if someone asked me to go show a house, I can go show a house. I can write a contract. That's fine. But like, the thing is, I almost need to rest before I do that, like for a little while, or else I just get winded. I obviously want to work in the basement, to get that done, but there's no way right now. I'm just checking to make sure everything's still on, because I haven't been around for so long. So anyway, wife finally says, "Hey man, I think we should go to the doctor." So she set us 2 appointments Sunday morning. Doctor gave me different meds than her. She's not doing that much better. I'm not doing that much better either. To be honest, I don't feel great. So anyway, right now, as far as the symptoms, I'm tired. It's not, I got all the tests that you could have as far as like what illnesses are flying around. We got nothing. It's hard to talk. My voice has been impacted dramatically. I'm not a very loud speaker as it is, but right now, I'm not able to like broadcast my voice in any sort of meaningful way. So I'm just looking at the panel. Now, while I'm feeling ill, as you guys know, I have spent time and money and effort into building a better stream, better quality stream, because this is something that I like to do. And so I bought a new graphics card, and you guys maybe have noticed that even with the new equipment, like for some reason, there's some pops in the microphone. There's some glitch. I'm sure there are tonight. I'm sure there's some freezing frames. Just stuff that shouldn't be happening. But more importantly, every once in a while, I would see when I would start a stream, there would be this, like the video would almost go out. So I bought a new graphics card. I didn't buy new memory, but I did buy a new graphics card. And I was just trying to tweak it behind the scenes as far as like just getting it so that my computer would be right. But I tell you, like in the back of my mind, I felt like something was going wrong with my computer that was dying. And I have nothing to point to that other than what I was telling you. Like sometimes the screen would go black when I was broadcasting. Sometimes it would be a strange color. And then you were having all kinds of pops and jerks and everything like that. So finally I was trying to do a stream, or I was trying to get it all nice, and I was working on it. And that would have been on Saturday morning. No, I think this is earlier. This is early. Like, what do you think? Like Tuesday? Like Tuesday of last week? No, it was Wednesday of last week. Wednesday of last week, I was working on the computer in the morning, and by 11 o'clock, the computer was totally just a brick. It would not, what they would call post is the technical term. That just means it doesn't boot up for me. it was so bad I knew I had to take it into the computer guys. Now, I wasn't interested in doing that because understand, I've spent, I mean, I bought a brand new video card and I get the sense that my computer's dying, and I don't, but I want to be able to stream because I like it. At the end of the day, I like to be able to get everything out that I'm thinking about real estate and life in general every night. It makes me calm. So when I went to the store, the guy said, and very nice people. It was Laclede Trading Company here in St. Louis, close to my house in Afton, in Grasso Plaza. Shout out to them. I was like, "Can you fix this?" And then it's like, "Well, I can't. I mean, we can, but it's going to be a couple days." And so I was like, "Okay." So he called me on a Friday. Called me last Friday after the closing on another house there on that condo, and he said, I think we got to figure it out. I think it's your memory's messed up, and we're going to run a test overnight, and then I'll call you tomorrow if it's ready. So on Saturday they work on Saturday. So called me in the morning about 10. He's like, "Hey, I got it all ready to go. Come on, pick it up. We're here till 2." I said, "Okay." So I had to do some errands and stuff like that, but my computer was going to come back, and he told me like they pulled the memory. So I believe I had 32 gigs of memory, and he had it down to like 8. It wasn't going to go well, and I mean, I never knew my computer was kind of overtaxed as it was. And I'll say this: look, the reason why is when I built that computer in 2013. That was the first computer I ever built on my own, and I was running Linux. I was doing Ubuntu. I don't know how that's proceeding these days, but I built my own computer, and then I started Deerwood Realty. It wasn't until 2015 I started Deerwood Realty, and so it's a 10-year-old computer. It was never built as like the blazing fast computer that it could have been, and the reason why, quite frankly, is because there was not for me. There was no. I was never going to stream, if you even could, and I really wasn't going to use any sort of content in my own life, my business, or anything like that. Just didn't I didn't see that, and so over the years, as it's become so important to be available and to be found, I got to thinking. Uh, I just, I just, I mean, it's time. It was time for a new computer. Now I was waiting until I could either get monetized here on YouTube, or, there was something going on. Like I just felt like within the next 6 months, I'm probably not going to get monetized within the next 6 months. I don't know what I did to my channel early on, but I mean, it doesn't get good views in any way, no matter what I do. And my shows are pretty tight relative to some of the other stuff I've seen for, higher subscriber rates. So I know I'm in the sandbox of I've done something wrong. I just don't know what it is. Anyway, that's why you should support me on Rumble or Locals or anywhere I'm around. I've tried to make it more accessible. Tonight, I'm not streaming on my website, Dear Realty and Friends website, because I just don't have time to sign it up. And again, I'm working on like a 10-inch screen. It's sitting on top of the Rodecaster box that it came in, just so I could get to a level. I was gonna shoot earlier, and it was gonna be like from down, but it was gonna go up, so you'd be looking at my nose. I didn't find that to be I didn't find that to be very pleasing, and so we're not doing it that way. But anyway, so the stepdaughter wants McDonald's for lunch on Saturday, so I said, okay, we'll go to let me go pick this computer up, and then we'll go to McDonald's. So we went to go pick up the computer. I walked in. The guy that I talked to originally sort of looked at me and then walked away. The guy that either owns it or runs the show, he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I'm sorry, it's not working anymore." He said, "I went to go put on the side panel and it just blew up." He goes, "I'm really sorry." So I said, "Hey, that happens." So we went and got McDonald's. I didn't expect to hear back. I said, okay, guys, have a good weekend. They're closed on Sundays and they're closed on Mondays. Have a good weekend. I will see you next week. And so then I got a call out of the blue at 1:00 on Saturday, and he's like, "Hey, man, I got it fixed. It's doing fine." So he said, "Come on in and let me show you." So I went in and he showed me, and it was working perfectly fine. I was thrilled. I was looking forward to coming home and maybe streaming on Saturday night. So I went and I got the computer. We put it, we put the side panel on it. Came back home. I went to start the computer, plugged everything in. Nothing, wouldn't post. I couldn't believe that. I was feeling really bad. My health had deteriorated by that point in time with my, what we'll call it, a sinus infection. I said, I said to my wife, I don't want to take it down to my parents to check out if it works on their computer because I'm just beat. Sunday, after the doctors, we rested all day. There's not a whole lot done. I didn't go down to my parents. Monday, I went down to my parents. They have computers that are kind of like mine, and so I worked on that, and it just did not post. So today, this morning, this is the first day the computer company's open. And I said, "Hey," I took it down. I said, "Hey, man, not good." Now, look, I was never mad, and the reason why I was never mad is because the guys are trying to help me out. Okay, they're not, and they weren't overcharging me or anything. The only thing is that I need my hard drive because all of my business documents are on my hard drive. And all my personal documents are on my hard drive because that's the way it was in 2013 when I built it. We didn't have the massive external drives like we do now. And they were expensive. So I took it in and I was like, I'm really I'm not mad at you guys, but we need to do something. He's like, you know what? I think we should throw in the towel on this one. He says, there's something wrong with the motherboard. There's got to be a crack or something somewhere, and it's just not allowing us to know where it is. And he said, we can get you, I don't know what he called it. He said, we can just get you an external hard drive enclosure, and you'll be good to go. And I was like, I don't know what that is. He says, oh, well, let me get it. So he got me one. And I don't feel like they're new products by any stretch of the imagination because I don't know many people that are running hard drives anymore in their systems in 2023. But what it is this box that you plug your what's left of your hard drive, and it will run just like an external hard drive. So basically, I've got a 1 terabyte hard drive now that's external. I just need, the old printer cable USB. So USB 2, that's what they are. And so that's the only thing I have left of that computer that I built. And I'm disappointed. And look, the whole time I was disappointed. It's like I thought that, honestly, I thought that computer was with me through thick and thin. I really did think it was great. My wife and I had met before I built the computer. So it wasn't before my wife, but it just was something that lasted, and I enjoyed it. So, when I took it in and it was in bad shape, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be able to put off buying a computer. I run a business. I need my documents. I mean, I just knew I wasn't going to be able to prolong it much longer. So I started looking around, and I had looked at new computers, at least pricing new computers during the crypto, where the graphics cards were just getting ridiculous. Well, they're still not cheap, but they've come down a bit. So I'm going to try this out. Now, look, if we lose picture or something, I'm sorry. But we'll just have to deal with it. So I'm going to show you. I put my parts on Parts Picker, and I did buy I bought the parts for my computer, and I just wanted to go over it with you a little bit. And it's right here, I think. Okay, can you see this? I'm going to flip back. Okay. All right, so we're there. So let's just go over it. So look, this is my new computer. I actually did buy it. Now these are the prices I did pay, and let's go over it. So look, my thought is I'm going to be making some changes to the channel going forward, and so we'll talk about that too if I can remember it. But let's go over it. So the CPU is an Intel Core 5 13th gen, 3.5 gigahertz, 14 core processor. I could have gone up to like an E. I could have gone up to like an i9. I didn't go up there because we don't know if this slot. Don't get me wrong. Is the 1700 slot, or if it's the 760 or the 790 board slot. We don't know if that's staying for the 14th generation core. So if it is, that's fine. I'll be able to update that way at some point in time for cheap. If it doesn't, I didn't mean to say if and it doesn't, but if it doesn't, then I should still be able to slide up into an i9 down the road, given the situation now. I would say one of the things that's changed significantly since I was last building a computer in 2013 was we didn't have RGB lights. We didn't have. I mean, that was unheard of. Why would you do such a thing? But and also your coolers, like you could buy fans then for your CPU, but they most of the time you just use the one they gave you. I was running AMD. I had a 6-core processor before, so this is, and it was not running at 3.5 gigs. This will be a massive increase in my computer power. I went with the Thermalright Peerless Assassin. It's an AirGB 66.17 CFM CPU cooler. Based on the reviews and based on the pricing, it just seemed like the right one for me. I'm not going to do liquid cooled because honestly, like, I just don't like the idea of water or anything near my computer. The pump goes out one time and you're done. Now the fan can go out too, and you can, be done. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like I would rather take my chance with the fan, and so that's what we're going to do. The motherboard is expensive, and I wanted to go over that explanation with you. I could have gone with a board that was about $250, between $250 and $300. Now, this is the LGA 1700 motherboard, and it is a Z790, so I should be running PCIe 5, and I should also be doing a DDR5 on the memory. So this had the best quote-unquote I/O for me. So many of these things that I'm now using can only do 3.2 USB, and I just don't have. I mean, I showed you that thing that I bought that had more ports just for that purpose, but I just didn't have anything where I felt comfortable on the USB at lower prices. I also, like I said, I wanted to be at DDR5 and I wanted to be at PCIe 5, but nothing's running there right now on the graphics cards. So depending on how things go, I might be in for great ability to use this motherboard for a long time. We'll just have to see. So then for the memory, I did go with 32 gigs, 216 gigabyte sticks of DDR5 6000 series, which is more expensive. For storage, just think about it. The M2 slot, I'm going to have a 2 terabyte. I got to remember where the camera is now. 2 terabytes will be about this big, whereas I had a 1 terabyte SATA drive, uh, and just the amount of speed difference is going to be ridiculous. Now, moving on to my graphics card. Look, I struggle with the idea of spending more than $500 on a graphics card. I also have a friend that's an NVIDIA just fanboy, and I need to do something. So I didn't buy the 4080. That would have been over $1,000. But understand, I built my first computer for probably $500 total, and the graphics card for this one is going to be uh, more than what I spent on my computer by a lot. The case, I went with the Lee & Lee Landcold 216 mid-tower case. It's got two fans, two 160 millimeter fans in the front. It's got a 120 millimeter fan in the back. I apologize, 140 millimeter fan in the back. The one in the back is not RGB. The two in the front are. I plan on having all the fan available. So there's two that you can have on the bottom, and then there's three you can have on the top, or you can have two 140s up there. So, but I did the three, and then I went with a Corsair Platinum 1,000 watt power supply. Maybe I could have gotten away with 850. Maybe I could have gotten away with a cheaper one. But anyway, the case, going back from it, the case is back ordered. And so this was another reason why I came over here to stream tonight, is because, look, if it's back ordered, they said 7 to 14 days. That's putting me into March. And I don't want to, like, if you don't post anything on YouTube for, 21 days, I mean, good luck being found. Not that I'm ever, like, right now, my impressions are usually running around, and I'm being honest with you, they're running around 1,000 on a good night. Okay. And on a bad night, I'll probably be down in the 300s. I don't know what I'll have today. I don't know what I'll have today because I won't get the stats until probably 2 days from now. So anyway, we know that we have to be streaming at least a little bit. So that's what we're doing. And then for the case fan, I bought the Lee & Lee, the Unifan. They're the three ones that'll go on the top. They're not, the blades are not RGB. It's the outsides. I kind of wanted that look I kind of want them to be the white in there. And I kind of don't want I kind of don't want it to be too rainbowy. And then I bought one 140 millimeter fan for the back that's an RGB, and I'm going to take the one that isn't an RGB and put it down with a Cooler Master fan that I have right now, laying around from my old computer, and it'll be fine. It's a 4-pin. So that's what and I'm going to stop showing the screen, hopefully just to save on. So I'm going to stop sharing for the time being, just so hopefully it's not taxing things too badly. Now, on my end, we're not stuttering too bad. I have noticed on the recordings that there is a delay every once in a while of freezing. We're just going to have to deal with that. We're just going to have to deal with it. So look, I don't feel great. Okay. And I don't have, my one computer's dead. I just bought a new computer, and if you saw the price, I don't know if I showed you the total, but I mean, it was a kick to the shin. So I'll see if I pull up the calculator real quick. Also, by the way, like, I'm doing this on my laptop up here, and then that's not where my keyboard and mouse are usually. I have a desk and I have it underneath there, and so it's like it's not great because I keep going for the keyboard and mouse to my computer that I don't have anymore. So let's see. What was I gonna? Oh, I wanted to do this. I'm about black. Okay, I'm sorry. Much. Anyway, We know not to go to the calculator. Sorry about that. What are we at? Like, let's say that it's let's say it was $500 on the first build, and now we're at $2,600. So, I mean, just dramatically more expensive. But here's where things change. Okay, this should allow me. When I started the Deerwood Realty live stream, it was not actually the Deerwood Realty live stream; it was the Deerwood Realty and Friends podcast to start, and that came out in like July 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, and even then, my computer wasn't going to be able to do like complex editing. I was just trying to get content out there, and then hoping to grow the channel over time and buy the right equipment over time, which you know that I have. I mean, if you've been around long enough, you've seen me with everything that I've gotten. But this change to a new computer should allow me to edit. I don't like editing videos. I'm not a great video editor, but the problem then occurred to me that I have one camera. I have one camera for my live stream, and it's just a dedicated camera. It's set up perfectly. The settings are all set up just straight for the live stream, and it's a camera that was built for vlogging. But I'll be honest with you, I would be embarrassed to vlog with it. It's huge, and it's got a right now it's got I believe it's a 13.5 millimeter lens on it. It's the Sigma. Like, there's another one that's even more fine, but I'm not getting that one right now. But anyway, I said to myself, like, wouldn't it be great to take you guys along with like the build of the computer? I mean, is it all real estate all the time for Deerwood Realty? No. But wouldn't it be nice to be able to do that? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to go to a house that's maybe I've got listed and go and talk about some of the features about the house and just go through it with you and kind of go over things that, you might want to look for if you were listing the home and stuff like that. Now, I have to be what I would say careful or judicious in what I can film and stuff like that, because I certainly don't want to be, setting myself up for a future lawsuit for something. But I do think that I can bring. I think that my goal is to bring you videos that that are about my work. Now, honestly, my work is a lot of driving. But we can look at neighborhoods around town, and we can walk some streets, and we can do some things. But we really couldn't have done it on my Sony, my A6400. It's just too big. It's just not who I am. And so tonight I bought a GoPro, or I didn't buy it tonight. I set up everything I would need to buy a GoPro, and the only difference now is originally I was going to do a GoPro 9, and now I'm going to probably move to an 11. There's $120 difference between the two. The accessories are the stuff that I'm really paying attention to because I need a lot of that stuff. And so I expect that within maybe 3 days we'll have that. And then I expect to make my first video where there's some degree of editing for the first time in a long time on that video. And it will be a video on just getting all the parts together for my computer and then putting it together. Now, here's one thing about my house that's, I mean, if you could see my desk right now, I mean, everything's covered in concrete dust. Like this weekend, like I've got the basement sewer lateral done. Okay, it doesn't leak, but I have to fill it with dirt, and then I have to put concrete over the dirt, and then I have to put the flooring down, the insulated flooring down, and then I have to put down the actual flooring down, and then I have to move stuff, and then my office is just packed with stuff, and now with not having my computer fixed, it's a disaster. By the way, the new computer that I'm buying is such a piece of art. There's no way I'm putting it on the ground. So it'll be up on my desk, but my desk is just, I mean, I can't even fit what I have on my desk now. So that brings up another point. At some point, I'm going to IKEA and getting a new desk. A bunch of stuff that I have in the office that has not suited me very well after I stopped doing any printing. Um, and I mean, I'm selling it for like cut rate. Just get rid of it. I'm not happy about it. But I mean, if you could see my room right now, it's a disaster. Now that's the problem with the computer build is like, I don't want you to see how bad it is. And that the GoPro is going to be able to show everything. So I'll probably build a computer upstairs um, because there's no way. I mean, it's a disaster here. So uh, let me know if you've had any experience with the GoPro 11 or GoPro 9. I'm leaning towards the nicer one because what I'd like to do is scale it back so we're not shooting such high rates because I think that's dumb. I don't want to do 5K video or, I think they're shooting 5K 30 frame video. I don't need to be anywhere near that. I'll take a 1080p and not burn up the camera, or I mean, even if 4K, I'm okay with that. But anyway, that'll be the first video, and then that'll be the change that you'll see. My business has always been this way, where there's like a lot of work, and then the work disappears, and then it starts back up again. And so that's how the videos are going to come out. I'll live stream all the time because I thoroughly enjoy it. But as far as videos, they'll be select, and they'll be ones where I've spent a little bit of time on the editing. At least that's the plan. But we'll see. We'll see. It could be a waste of money, but I don't think it will be, because I think it's the right thing to do. Also, right now we take shorts from the video, the live stream, and put them up. I think I might do some specific posts on YouTube Shorts, just to see if I can get any more traction. Sometimes I get a lot of views on my videos on Shorts, and sometimes I don't get many. The majority of my subscribers have come from Shorts, and I don't like the split right now. I'd prefer to have more. I'd prefer to have more subscriptions based on the live stream, and then videos, and then Shorts. But it's not that way. It's Shorts. Nobody's on the live stream subscribing, and then it's videos. I have one video in YouTube that's done well organically, one that reliably brings in probably 100 views a week. But everything else is pretty much just ugh. So those are my plans for YouTube. This is the plans for what I plan to make changes on as far as the type of content you're going to see. I've not given up the live stream. I love it. I would love for us to have like 50 people on the live stream and just go out and just have a lot of fun. But it hasn't happened yet. Maybe it never will, but we've made the effort. So with that, like I said, I'm under the weather. We're not going to have a regular show. I can't even like do the links on my notes the way I want to right now because I don't have any room to move the mouse or the keyboard really like while I'm typing. Like right now, if I go to type, believe it or not, see my hand, I don't know if you can see my hand right here. That's about 3 inches off of the keyboard. I mean, I'm way up there. So typing isn't a great thing, but I wanted to, at least tonight, go over the process of putting together a live stream, seeing how bad it turns out, and then go from there. Look, when that happened on Wednesday and I lost the computer as far as the first time, it was a kick. It was a kick in the shins. It hurt. I didn't think I would be able to live stream since I got my computer back, which would have been Saturday. And then when I got the computer on Saturday, it was just nowhere. We have setbacks in business all the time. Okay. There are not nearly as many triumphs as there are setbacks. And so we just don't quit. We just kick and scream and fight and do everything we have to do to stay alive. We persevere. This isn't the most perfect stream tonight. but it's better than no stream. And so that's where I'm at. I made it happen. Is it the best? No, but I made it happen. And it's the way I've run my business always. And it's important to me. So we'll get to where I want to go. It may take forever, but we'll make it. I have some dirty laundry that I could talk about tonight, but I'm not going to. I'd save it till tomorrow. But it is about business and, how one chooses to conduct themselves as an organization. We're going to talk about that. And then that's it. So tonight, let's go over just I got like 2 tweets. I don't have any real estate stories. This is all about just getting a product out that so I can test it and see, what can I get away with as far as how is it looking? And then also my voice is just, it's going, it hurts to keep talking. So I'm going to see, I keep reaching for the wrong mouse. So here we go. So let's go here and then go. I need to go to this spot, do this. Here we go. Let's go going to. Okay, we're at the Deerwood Realty website. Look, the most important thing right now, in my opinion, is housing affordability. And by affordable housing is not, I don't mean like some sort of government program that makes houses sell for a lower than they should price to certain select groups of people that the government deems any day of the week as something special and worthy of something that other people in the population don't get. But affordable housing to me means like if you got a job, could you afford a house? It hasn't been that case for a long time, but I did want you to see it here. We were down below 6%, maybe 2 weeks ago, and now we've climbed and climbed and climbed. Now we're at 6.62%. It's just not going in the positive direction. If it gets back up in the 7s, it'll just freeze the market again. And it freezes because of affordability. It's not because it's not because sellers are greedy, and it's not because buyers are dumb. It's just there's only a certain amount of money you can afford. And so that's that. Moving here now, this is the first trade, and it's just for markets in Mayhem. It says, I'm sorry, I can't even read it. I've got a little block here. It says 83 basis points on the yield curve. I'm sure we're in the softest of soft landings. Now, if you look, this was in 2000. This is just not good. And then this is data no longer matters. Yield curve could be at negative 178. It doesn't matter. And that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm not there in the same way they've gotten there. We see this data. Like, let's look at gas prices a while back. Gas prices really, really high. President comes out, and I don't mean it like Republican, Democrat, or this is the best president, or that was the, but they come out immediately and say, it wasn't my fault that the gas prices rose. And it's you're just gonna have to pay it. And then the gas prices go down, and the first thing they do, the president says, look at what I've done for the people. I've lowered gas prices. Meanwhile, egg prices are like $6 a dozen, but let's not pay attention to that or anything like that. It's a business of lying on a grand scale. I don't care what your political persuasion is. It's just sickening. So this leads to believe that we're going to be in a very difficult situation. And all I can say is I remember in 2006, 2007 that the pundits were all saying that the economy was going to be fine, everything was great, and everything was strong. And then companies were like defaulting. Like GM was like ready to be sold to like investment people. It was Kerkorian. And then, it turns out that it turns out that the major, financial companies are underwater severely. Um, they need to be bailed out by your U.S. government. Too big to fail. But it was just like we kept getting like this one thing would drop and then the next thing would drop. In this current cycle, would you say like the FTX scandal dropping? Would you say that that's something? Maybe we won't know, until hindsight. There had been talk about a bank defaulting in Europe, um, but it was kind of kept quiet. A major bank, so we just don't know. Um, I don't wish any sort of economic hardship on anyone. I thought this next tweet was kind of interesting. Uh, Let me know what you chatter in the comments. It says in the U.S. there's a rising incidence of industrial accidents and construction embarrassment. Ohio chemical explosion, Fairlane runway incidents, failed high-speed rail, fires from mismanaged forests, $1 million toilets, $300 million bus lanes, and $3.5 billion subways. Why is this happening? A thread said one answer is, well, I mean, I just kind of want to hear what he has to say. It says one answer is that the only type of maintenance that's even semi-prestigious in American society is software maintenance. Well, I don't know about that, to be honest. That is, it's not prestigious to be a plumber, mechanic, or electrician. You can make money, but it doesn't have cultural cachet, and so maintenance suffers. I don't believe that's true. I disagree with this completely. At least I disagree with it because I think so highly of our service people. I mean, just look like, what was it? Thanksgiving? I had no kitchen drain. And while I could put it together myself, when I had one of my plumber friends do it, it was so fast that there was no way that it would have made any sense for me to touch it. I mean, it was impressive. And I need to do my work now to finish, but just amazing. So I disagree with this on that premise. It says this is complicated to discuss because people are in denial about it, but prestige is much of a type of compensation as compensation. With factory jobs moving overseas and its constant reputation for the need for college, the implicit message has been that physical jobs are for losers. In other societies, including the U.S. society of several decades ago, there was more respect for the blue-collar workers, for trades, for hard days' work, and so on. Indeed, that was arguably a positive side effect of the labor movement. It was un-PC to disrupt physical labor. Look, there is something to that, okay? When I was a kid, even a janitor at a school would be looked at as gold. They may not be the smartest people, or they may have had like trouble in their lives. They might have been hooked on crack or something, but they came to work and they were respected. It says all the graduates have selected, and I have seen this a lot of times. Like you'll see attorneys, like attorneys are really bad, just in general. They think they know everything. Okay, and they. Oh, I should not have done that. I opened a browser. I'm sorry. That's going to mess things up. My computer's just like, oh my gosh, we're going to install updates. Thank God. This is terrible. So attorneys, they think they know everything. And so you should be paid as a service worker. And so they want to stay together for your mom. This is in their opinion, that because, went to college and they're smart. And then there's people in their houses that would never talk to them. They'd never be friends with them. And so you just go, and it's gross, and it's something that I'm totally against in the way I live my life. Um, but anyway, all the graduates of selective U.S. colleges went to work in fields like finance, law, medicine, politics, or software engineering. This means U.S. elites have taken the physical world for granted for decades, maybe a generation. They aren't thinking about it. So, Russ, I don't think that's true. I think that let me just tell you where I want to go with this. I believe that when you build something in the United States, say you build something in 1950, you may have had a budget for maintenance and repair, but by 1960, you took all that money and you put it somewhere else. And so this happened on every single project all across the United States. Why? Because the money could be taken. No one said a word. And so also, whenever you say like, hey, we need to build a bridge somewhere, people are seemingly more, oh, you want to build a bridge? Okay. It just seemed like it was going to happen. This is something I covered a long time ago with the condos in Florida that were being built in the 50s and 60s. They were great to move in, but they're now falling apart and they need to be repaired. There just needs to be maintenance, and there's no money. The condo boards have never been, taking the amount of money that you would need to do the amount of work that they have to do. So it's bad. Since now I mentioned software maintenance, that's the exception. We all notice that there's if there's even a little downtime or latency, and executives, engineers, and venture capitalists do lose sleep money over downtime. So we put immense effort into monitoring DevOps, dashboards, and the like. But see, I don't believe that either, because if you look at the latest problems with Southwest Airlines not being able to schedule their flights, and then the next time with that Buttigieg talking about, they grounded a bunch of flights for the first time since 9/11. I mean, that's all software related. This suggests to pass forward rather than try to resurrect a vanished past leading to the future. Specifically, start thinking about the physical maintenance like we do software maintenance, dashboards, robots, automation for everyone, reduce human injury and even involvement. This, to me, sounds like someone that's not familiar with the way maintenance can be done in the United States right now, as far as large building maintenance or large, like college campuses and things like that, like Johnson Controls, one of those companies. I mean, they have all kinds of sensors that can tell you like an ice rink is not cold enough. And I mean, it's just unbelievably awesome. It says there are, of course, aspects of software culture that do not translate. You need much more rigorous coding practices when you're dealing with cars and planes. But tech execs have actually built electric cars like Tesla and now supersonic planes. There's a path here. Now, after the invention of tanks, militaries didn't go back to horse-mounted cavalry. Similarly, we need to figure out a reasonably precise role, just larger in the 50s. Maybe it's as simple as hiring them into new firms building things. Well, you're going to have a real problem there because we politicized the workforce. Speaking again about Pete Buttigieg, he was complaining this morning of there were too many white people in construction for him. That it's just not good enough for him. He needs fewer white people in. I mean, he's just total racist. I mean, it's just ridiculous that we're even. I mean, that he would even say. I mean, he's the transportation secretary. He should be concentrating on that. But we're worried about the levels of white people in construction. That's the problem in America right now. But what about robotics? It's a huge part of the future and present, but the fully humanoid robot is still some years out. For some time, it still needs humans to man the robot factories, and as many as have observed, it looks like AI disruption starts digital rather than physical. When I was going to college and graduating in 2000, that was the discussion. It was, hey, you should go someplace and learn how to fix a robot because they're going to control everything anyway. I agree with that in some ways, but what was not obvious was the industries that were going to make it. Like I have a friend that would fix newspaper printing machines throughout the United States. That's so dead business. That's a very dead business. He got out of that. Um, so he's very technically talented, but in an industry that was dying. Um, who fixes the robots? Part of the reason there is the allure of the robot is that they don't die, and they always come to work. So I don't agree with this. It says in summary, many industrial disasters are happening because physical maintenance isn't focused on because it isn't prestigious. But software maintenance is prestigious, and tech has started building physical products. So maybe there's a white blue collar rapprochement here. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this at all. I'm telling you that I don't agree with it because I want you to understand. I want to show things I don't think are true. So that's where I'm at on that. I can make it time. It's not a good plan. That's always going to get slower frame rate. Okay. So look, I'm gassed. I can't breathe. Mucus everywhere, and just my throat's gone. But it felt good to get out again and stream. And I want to say thanks. We've got plenty more things to discuss tomorrow, maybe, if I can get myself together. We know we're not going to have a new computer for a while. Okay, so it is what it is on that. Tomorrow, like, I'm putting a note in for my own self for the broadcast. We're going to talk about credit cards in business and what has happened to me recently. And that's it. So look, it was a nice night to start. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I will catch you on the next one, hopefully tomorrow, hopefully around 9, maybe early. I don't know. But again, thanks. Good night.